Do you know what it means to be authentic? I mean, I hear a lot of people talking about it in this day and age. So I thought to myself, in this video, I'm going to be talking about what it means to be an authentic human being. If you don't know who I am already, my name is Michael Tabaradi, high performance coach and mentor, and I help self-starters and ambitious professional millennials increase their productivity, enhance their performance, realize their priorities, and live their life on purpose. Now, if this is the first time you've come to my YouTube channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And as always, all the links are in the description below. Now let's get to the video. Now, if you've watched any of my YouTube videos or lives or collaborations with other people, you'll realize that I talk about authenticity and values quite a bit. Now, I used to hate that word because everybody was authentic. You needed to be this, you needed to be that. I heard it every single time. But at the end of the day, if apples are apples, then it's an apple. So in today's video, I want to really break down what being authentic means and how it could help you improve your life in terms of your pursuit and your goals. Now let's get into it. Now, really and truly, being authentic is being true to yourself. But what is self? What does that actually mean? Well, in psychology, there is something known as sub-personalities. And effectively, we have a core set of personalities and sort of like a middle ring and an external ring of personalities that we draw on in different situations. So for example, if you're trying to solve a specific problem, you may draw on the analytical side of yourself. If you're on a big group, you may draw on the comedic side of yourself. However, these different parts of you all relate to you as an individual. They make you up in different ways. And so being authentic to yourself is relying on that true versions of yourself. So it's not just about one sort of like point of reference. You may have many different points of references that align to you as an individual. In essence, being authentic to yourself is aligning to your values. And again, if you don't remember what your values are, then you can check out this video. I think it's on this side. But anyway, what that effectively means is that you are doing things that are important to you. How do you know what's important to you? It's the things that create meaning based on your life experiences. So again, you look back, you check your life experiences, and then you realize actually at these different points, these different things happen to me. And so it conditions your brain in such a way where you start to develop meaning. Okay, so Viktor Frankl talked about this in terms of logotherapy. So what that really means is you make decisions aligned to your values. They're your guiding star, they're your sort of navigation system in terms of helping you make decisions. Now, if you think about what authenticity is, it really comes down to being honest to yourself. And I call this brutal honesty. I didn't say light honesty. I'm talking about having a certain energy and aggression behind your level of honesty to self, okay? So you need to be able to look in the accountability mirror, whether that's in your mind or actually physically in front of a mirror, and say to yourself, was I being true to myself? What does that really mean? Well, honesty is broken down into two bits, okay? First bit is truth. So truth is based on facts, empirical data, information, objectivity, observable things, okay? So that's what truth is. And if you're not relaying your stuff based on that things, then it's going to be very difficult for you to be authentic because you're fabricating all of these different things in order to develop a certain perception. You need to get to a point where you're aligning your focus based on what at least appears to be factual and truthful. The second bit is sincerity. So what is being sincere? Being sincere is acting in accordance to how you feel. Okay, so sometimes you don't feel like doing something. So your sincerity may show that you have to work in integrity or in alignment to how you feel. So when you match the two together, information and facts versus aligning your actions and what you say to what you feel, then you get to a point of a sense of authenticity because people can see that, people can emanate that, people can relate to that. And so authenticity becomes something quite magnetic and resonant and everything else. So remember these points when it comes to authenticity. Now, what are some of the benefits when it comes to authenticity? Well, you are more trusting, you are more confident, you attract more people, you're able to deal with things better. And in essence, you become a well-rounded human being because You're cutting out the crap and you're focusing on what's truthful and what's needed in terms of what resonates with you as an individual. This is why authenticity is such a big deal. So rather than just using it as a buzzword, really understand the context and meaning behind what it actually means and then deliver on that stuff. Just before we continue, I would love to know what authenticity means to you. Leave your comments below. Now let's get back to the video. Now, what does it really take to be an authentic human being? Here are some of my thoughts. The first thing I would say is that you have to have a deep level of integrity. I've said this so many times before. Do the thing you said you're going to do long after the feeling had gone. Okay, so for example, if you weren't being watched, okay, you would still do good. That's what integrity is. It is doing things because you know it aligns to your sense of values. So sticking to that stuff. How you are in front of your work colleagues, maybe how you are in front of your family members as an example. And I do know there will be varying degrees of how you respond and everything else, but the core values are evident. So integrity is key when it comes to authenticity. The second thing I'd say is to observe more closely how you feel. When you get intimate with your feelings, you get to a point of understanding how to control them. When we think about emotional intelligence, then you get to a point of being self-aware of self, okay, so understanding how you respond and being able to manage your mindset, your emotions, and all of those different things. And so being aware of how you feel in different situations gives you a certain level of acuity that makes you authentic, thereby allowing you to express how you feel and act in accordance to how you feel. It comes back to that sincerity point. The third thing I'll say is realize when you're lying to yourself, okay? When you're lying to yourself, you get this ill feeling, you get a negative vibe. And so the aim of the game is to make sure that you're in alignment to truth to self, because if you can be honest to yourself, you're gonna get rid of the riffraff. You're gonna be a bit more efficient. You're gonna be that individual that people look to because you cut out the crap. And so being truthful to yourself is really, really important when it comes to authenticity. The fourth thing I'd say is to be confident and comfortable being you. It's very important that you become really comfortable in your skin. There are so many people who don't like themselves. There are so many people who don't see their self-worth. There are so many people who feel anxious and or depressed. And so what I want to say to you is that you are enough. You have the ability to do great things. Now, sometimes great things may be big or small, but thinking makes it so. And so your mindset in this is so key. So never belittle yourself. Understand that you were made and created for a specific reason. You just need to define that reason, and having a purposeful nature enables you to connect more to people. This all links to authenticity. The fifth thing is to communicate with honesty. Now hear me out here. I'm not necessarily saying you need to be rude, but what I am saying is that you need to be able to express what's in your mind and articulate it in such a way where people get what you truly mean. Now you can do that in a non-rude way, but in the same instance, sometimes you have to be firm. Sometimes you have to make sure you stand your ground. So it's important for you to practice expressing how you truly feel in front of people, but be mindful of your words, because sometimes, people's tongues can be sharp, yeah? And I'm not talking about their breath too. So it's important for you to communicate effectively and honestly to people, because when you do that to other people, you do that to yourself as well. You need to be kinder to yourself. And so being kinder to yourself is expressing that truth. That's how we align to a sense of authenticity. The sixth thing I'm going to say, which I've already pretty much said already, is to align to your values. Really understand what your main values are. Is it integrity? Is it honesty? Is it being truthful? Is it being an achiever? What are the things that are truly important to you? Look back at your life and understand what makes you tick, what ignites you, what gives you that level of passion. When you understand this, then you realize that actually, this is how I need to make decisions, and you need to be unbudging in nature. Now, there is an evolution of values, and they're known as principles. Now, usually they're quite similar, but your principles are things that you stick to because of a specific goal, whereas your values are more aligned to what's important to you based on your past experiences. So start with values, work your way up to principles. Now, I truly do believe that authenticity is the way to go if you want to do greater things in life. And so I thought it'd be incumbent upon me to talk about high performance and what it means to be a high performer in relation to authenticity. If you found this video interesting, make sure to give it a like. And if you want to check the next video, subscribe and hit the notification bell. And as always, understand, reach, and expand. Peace.